Hello and welcome to Venus Fly Cowplant. You can call me Venus. Today we have kind of an interesting build. I'm trying to make a sort of like newspaper headquarters here in the Mourningvale neighborhood in the Ravenwood world that came with the Life and Death pack. This is actually though the first build that I'm making with the new Businesses and Hobbies pack. New here being a somewhat relative term. By the time this video comes out, it'll probably be like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, so this, I wanted to do something that was a little bit different. It's so easy to just want to make like only, you know, pottery studios and tattoo parlors and things, which I definitely want to and will. Things like daycares that a bunch of other people are making. Those are all very fun and cool, but I also wanted to make something that was a little bit like different for me, a little bit, you know, sort of left of center. And I had the idea for this when Life and Death first came out a few months ago. And that's to have in this, the Mourningvale neighborhood here in Ravenwood, that's to have a sort of like newspaper headquarters, like a little like office where they like write a newspaper. The idea here, the backstory here is that ever since the Grim Reaper started having his grimterns, the obituary sections of newspapers have gotten way too long, and so Mourningvale just decided to have like an all obituaries newspaper. So it's saying it out loud is sort of stupid, but yeah. So it's the idea is that this the Mourningvale Harald, I'm calling it. It's just all obituaries and maybe some other little articles on, you know, like dealing with grief and using your ghost skills, things like that. That's the only thing that this newspaper writes about, because there's just too many obituaries otherwise. So this is just basically based on like old-fashioned, like very vintage-looking, like newspaper offices, like old. Just wanted to have like place for like journalists to come here, like journalist sims. So it's got the spooky vibes, but it's more just like old vintage looking, like almost run down, but not quite. That's sort of the vibe here. And then I wanted to have it be sort of like a little street of shops. So next to it, there's going to be a little cafe. And then I also ended up putting in like a little antiques shop. The guy who I'm having own this newspaper, his name is Horatius Musgrave. You can see him right there. Horatius Musgrave is a crazy name. Let me be the first to say. And his whole deal, he's a spellcaster. And his whole deal is that he's like obsessed with chronomancy. He's obsessed with any kind of time magic or like things that can help stave off sort of the inevitable death. I think that his backstory that I ended up making is that he, as a child, nearly drowned, but he was saved after his mother pled to the Grim Reaper, or like bested him at chess. And so he was like, okay, so death is not inevitable, and that means that you can, you know, and that from there it ended up like he became obsessed with the idea of undeath and the idea of like time magic and like beating the clock in his way. And so he runs this newspaper about obituaries, and he's like obsessed with death and time. And so I wanted it to be this very like locked into time kind of a vibe here. So it's this very old-fashioned, like turn of the century kind of look to it. Next to it, like I said, it'll have the cafe, and then on the corner there it'll also have an antiques shop that's very like of the theme for me, I think. And right here, I sort of yada-yada'd past this in the editing. I hope that's all right and not annoying, but I was having a lot of trouble figuring out what I wanted this layout to be here. So sometimes I may need to like iterate through ideas. I like to do that just off camera. So I ended up putting the other two like building areas here on little platforms and then connecting them with stairs. I think sometimes when you have a little like an area that's filled with more community lots, I feel like that's sort of a vibe. It just like has a cool vibe to it. I think it works in this world too. But yeah, so it's going to be the the main headquarters right here. Then it's going to be the cafe, a little antique shop, and then over in the back on the side there, that's going to be a library. I had originally, before I knew that this pack was coming out, I was originally maybe going to make this lot be a library, technically, like mechanically. And I'm glad I didn't end up having to do that. I like being able to experiment with the new small business venue lot type here. But I still wanted there to be a library area here. I think it works as like, okay, so they have the newspaper here, and then they also have sort of the archives. I went in with the sim who owns this, and I had him write some books. They're technically books, but like to me they're newspapers, and so that there's a couple like books in it that are like, okay, they're old copies of the newspaper, the Herald, that were released. And I'd like having it in the library area, so it's like, okay, your Sims can go there and like research the history of this place and all that, and just make like the builds feel more like built into the world that way. Above the area where there's the cafe and the antique shop, you'll see I also put in an apartment. I went back and forth on if I wanted this to be a small business venue or the residential small business venue. I wasn't quite sure. Again, this was the first one I was doing it with. The reason that I ended up going with small business venue, not residential, is because that way you can have it be the meeting place for a club, because you can only have the owner and then 3 other employees, and I needed to make sure I have someone there to run the cafe. So I wanted to have it feel a little bit more like full of life and being used, and so I wanted to make a club of like the interns for this newspaper. And so I have a club set up to meet here, and they just come here and like write and program and drink coffee, and those are their only tasks. So it's sort of like a way to build out kind of autonomy for some people in this area, so that when you have other Sims come visit it, it feels more like it makes sense here, like it's functioning how an actual, you know, the Herald headquarters actually might in real life. So yeah. At the end, once I'm done building this, I'll go in and kind of show you what I'm personally doing as far as setting up the business part itself. It has to be like a functional lot, and have it be, and how to sort of best tweak the business activities for it to work properly. But yeah, I hope that you guys like the build. Let me know what you think. This was a little bit weird again. It's sort of hard to do like, but sometimes with the Sims, especially with like a new pack like this, it's hard to like, you're almost fighting the autonomy sometimes when we're trying to make some of these, like especially using this new Businesses and Hobbies pack, you're kind of fighting the autonomy to try to make things slightly outside of what maybe the devs had in mind for it, which I think they did a pretty good job of giving us like enough options to make something that unexpected with it. But it's still, you know, it's the Sims, you're still fighting the autonomy. Yeah, but with that, it just takes some tweaking to figure out what you really want that autonomy to look like, so that when you have Sims come visit it, it feels a little bit more, not realistic feels like the wrong word for the Sims, but you know what I mean, it's sort of realistic, as much as a Sims game can be. There's also a ghost cow plant not too far from here, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, what are we doing with realism? So, over here in I tried to make a back room there that was sort of a printing area where they print the paper. It's not that I gave up, it's just that it's not very good, I think. I don't know. That area there, I end up trying to, you'll see in a minute, but I end up trying to make an area that kind of more gives the impression of where they print it than actually making sense. I use the tool mod to move blank canvases to sort of look like, I had looked up a bunch of reference pictures of old-timey paper headquarters, and I really tried to make it look cool, but I feel like it does not look cool. But I ended up keeping it, I don't know. But yeah, so it's, again, I try to like use the blank canvases to look like they are a newspaper being like fed through I don't know any of the terms, so I just want to keep saying the thingy. That's not helpful. But you'll see when it's there. I feel like it doesn't look very convincing, but you're sort of not supposed to like scrutinize it. It's just there for like flavor, just to sort of be like, you know, give the impression of okay, this is where they make the newspapers themselves. Anyway, I hope that comes through and makes sense when you see the final build. I will stop yapping for now. I will come back in at the end here to show you how I personally wanted to set it up to actually function in game. So coming in here after the build, I wanted to go over how I set up this business to run so that it like works for my game how I wanted it to. Just because I've noticed that so far with this, the Businesses and Hobbies pack, it really matters how you have set up the business tasks and the employees' tasks to have the autonomy kind of how you want. Obviously, you are free to use this build however you want, of course. But for me, here's what I wanted to do. You can see here I kind of had to try a few different things and tweak it. What I ended up landing on was attend classes and lectures, do research, possess objects, because it is in the Mourningvale neighborhood after all, so in case ghosts stop by, and then play chess. I had taken off read and drink coffee, even though those are technically like the two main things I want people to do. I noticed when read was there, like even the employees, that's all that they wanted to do. They were stopping doing their employee tasks to read. And having do research there involves them using books and bookshelves anyway, so they will read anyway. And I found it just works a little bit smoother rather than having read as an option there. And to drink coffee is a little bit weird because you can even see when you go in to like set it up, it says that Sims will use, if you have to drink coffee there, it's that Sims will make and drink coffee. Like they will use actual coffee makers to brew it themselves rather than ordering it at the cafe bar there. I thought that was a little bit weird, but you know, it's The Sims, you gotta work with them. So yeah, those I just have the 4 business tasks and I find that really works. And then for the employee tasks here, I have it set up to mostly focus on paid mentoring and doing the classes and lectures. For the owner, I also have them to be friendly. And then for this assistant editor here, kind of, I have her both programming and hacking. That's just to try to keep her at a computer. Again, I tried a bunch of different things to test this all out for you guys. Personally, just for autonomy, I wanted to be like, okay, you arrive here and there's somebody like at the computers in that in the main office area. And then I also have a third employee here. He looks the way he looks, don't worry about him, but I have him tending the coffee bar and that's his only task. I've really, with this new pack, I found if you want to have an employee working at like an espresso bar or the bubble tea counter, that needs to be their only task, or they will do anything else instead. So that's why I kind of work. If I have another employee here, I will just have them only be programming and hacking personally. Again, just to keep people at the computers in the area. It's less to have them actually provide paid services almost, and more just like, for this business, for me, it's more like a place to visit rather than to play in as like the owner. So I'm not that invested in like this making a lot of money in The Sims, you know what I mean? But I just want it to seem like you come here and there are people who work at the actual newspaper itself and they're writing the articles and things. Yeah, I also personally have set up a club. This is a thing I often do to just make it feel a little bit more like a full world, is I'll set up clubs to just sort of populate townies that make sense at different places. You set up, you know, jocks to go to a gym, or you set up like more nerdy Sims to go to libraries, and just using the club system. And I really like that with this new pack you can set, you know, your target customers more, so it kind of helps not need that as much. But like for my personal gameplay, I still wanted there to be a club that was sort of, they can't be paid employees of course, but they'll sort of be like the newspaper interns a little bit. So I have them set up just to write and program and then do research, and that's it. That's how I personally have this build set up here. If you want something similar in your game, I hope that helps at all. And yeah, I hope you guys love the builds. Oh, I almost forgot, but actually one other thing is I've noticed with this new pack, it really does matter where you have the ticket kiosk and one of those 2 like open signs. That can really help with sort of just autonomy, where customers first congregate when they arrive. I ended up putting one of those little signs right out front of the cafe area, and I found that that really helped. Otherwise, they were kind of clustered off where they first generated in on like this corner of the lot over here, and that's sort of where they were before they decided if they wanted to stay or not. Whereas when I have this sign here, they come and stand right in front of this sign, and then when they decide to stay, they go right into the cafe. Personally, that's how I want it to work. I feel like it makes sense for this cafe to have the most foot traffic, and then after that, the library. And so when I have this here, I also put a ticket kiosk in here. I don't remember if that's why I have it saved with the version that's on the gallery. I'm so sorry. I might not have, but I don't know if the ticket kiosk being here made a big difference, but I think having this sign up front did help a lot. So, but yes, where those signs are matters. And this has been really fun for me to just play around with this new pack and see what kind of like weird things I can try to come up with. Again, a little bit persnickety, trying to get the right tasks to make it feel like when you visit this lot, it feels the way I want it to. It takes some like work to kind of work against the Sims autonomy sometimes. So yeah, that's what I personally found works for me, for what I want this to feel like. And yeah, I hope you guys love the build. Let me know what you think. And let me know what other like cool builds you guys have been working on. There's so many opportunities with this pack to do different things and try to be creative with it, and I'm having so much fun with that. Let me know what you guys are doing. I'm curious. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Tag.